So good morning. Good morning, everybody, on this fine Sunday. I'm standing in front of a very special and meaningful building to me. I'll let you guess. I like to play the guessing game so that you could guess where I am. I'm right now at the International Chabad Rabbis Convention, which is once a year, a very, very special convention. Probably the largest religious sort of rabbinical convention in the world is what I would assume. And so as such, we're not going to have the regular class that we do on Sunday. I'm walking here on the streets of, I'm not going to tell you yet where. You're welcome to write. I'll turn around, I'll show you. Maybe it'll give you a little bit of a better guess of where I am. Here we go. Hope I don't get you. I hope I'm not getting you dizzy while I'm walking. But, and crossing the street over here. So here we go. We are crossing the street. Let's see, I'm not sure if it's my light. I guess it is, I don't know. You gotta be careful over here on the streets of where I am. And so just to share a little bit of what's going on here as I'm walking down the streets over here. Okay, let's turn this around over here. And so the International Convention is something that the Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, encouraged very strongly. And it was something that it is an event which brings together Chabad rabbis and some of the lay supporters from throughout the entire world for a major convention and breakout workshops where everybody discusses, just so many amazing, both inspirational and practical ideas how to bring the beauty of Judaism to all generations, how to be more effective, how to use the tools of technology, how to deal with or how to be there to support people in all stages of life, including times of crisis, times of joy. So there's just, helping shluchim, Chabad rabbis with their own, how to raise their own children in an environment that's maybe not the typical Brooklyn environment. Fundraising, management of a community. I mean, there's just many different breakout workshops, and it's really very beautiful and very special. In addition to just inspiration, you sit with friends that you've grown up with or other Chabad rabbis from throughout the world, and they share with you their experiences and how they dealt with given situations. So it's really very beautiful. And tonight, so over Shabbat, I sat with some friends. We've farbrengt. We talked about how to further bring the Rebbe's vision, based on, of course, our prophets, of bringing about the coming of Mashiach, which means a world of love, a world of holiness, a world of goodness and kindness and prayer and study, etc., etc. And so we spoke about it amongst friends, encouraging one another, dealing with our own, perhaps, internal challenges, as we are all human beings and we have our own struggles. So it was very, very special sitting with friends that I grew up with, friends from all parts of the world. Tonight there's a convention that there's a banquet that occurs in New Jersey. I think there's just simply not a big enough place over here in the New York City area, so it's just over the bridge or over the tunnel. And that's very, very special as well. So that's what's going on. My hands are freezing. I'm in New York. I'm a Floridian shliach. I'm not used to this cold weather. It's cold. It's windy. It's frigid. And yet, as I wrote in the title, and yet it is very, very warm. It's very warm. There's such beautiful warmth that is, and camaraderie and brotherly love. And unity that is just so strong in here, and positive energy, so much light in a time like today. So many dignitaries actually from different parts of the world. So it's very special. It's very special. I did want to share always we should at least share one Torah thought. I actually have a fuller discussion that I wanted to share, but I think I'll leave it for next week when I'm sitting and it's a little more settled. Here it's a little more what we might call in Hebrew a balagan. It's a little chaotic, so it's a little hard to do it. So I'll share one thought with you. Morning. I'll share one thought with you regarding this past week's parsha, and it relates to the meme that I shared before Shabbat, where it says over there, Avraham Zakein ba bayamim. Avram was old, coming in his days. Now, it seems to be a double expression. My hands are freezing. I gotta switch over here. Put my other hand in the pocket. So it says Avram was old, ba bayamim, coming in his days. Now it seems a double expression. So what does it mean, Avram Zakein ba bayamim? Avram was old, coming in his days. So the Rebbe, Hasidus, the Zohar says, and I find this inspirational. First of all, my name is Avraham, that's besides. And I've been a Chabad rabbi for over 30 years. Not that I'm old, I'm still young and energetic and fresh, and thank God, but it's always sort of good to hear and learn from these messages at whatever age you're at. So Avram Zakein, Baba Yom, Avram was elderly, coming in his days. So what does it mean, coming in his days? So here, the Zohar, and I'm putting together a couple of different thoughts, says that on the one hand, Avram Zakein, he was old. You know why he was old? Because Baba Yom, he entered into his days. He really experienced and lived and internalized every single day. What he did, what he lived through was totally. I was thinking about a little bit on the lighter side, but it's not so light. Sometimes you might come to a point where you realize that your maybe short-term memory is not as good as it used to be. Your recall is not as good as it used to be. But sometimes I ask myself, is that what it is? Or we're just so scattered, we're just not focused that we don't really enter into anything. So of course we don't remember. It's almost like we're just not there. We're not experiencing it. So Avram Avinu was old because Ba Bayamim, he really entered into the days. I'm going to start walking a little bit to keep myself warm. So the camera, I know, will get a little bumpy, but it's the way it is. So he was old. You know why he was old? Because Ba Bayamim, he really entered and lived and with a full sensitivity, with a full implication of it, with the full depth of it to his core. He lived the things that he did on a day-to-day basis. And that's why he became old. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, the Zohar says, or let's go back. On the other hand, the Rebbe says, so again, based on the Zohar, the Avram, by the way, I'm sitting here, if you want to, by now I could give it away since some of you answered. If you notice, I am right here. I'm right in front of the famous 770, where it all emanates from. In fact, we just took a picture, a rabbinic picture here of a couple of thousand Chabad rabbis, and the picture was taken right over here. I'm going to turn around the camera right in front of 770. It took probably almost 45 minutes to get everybody sort of organized and situated. But I'm going to sit down over here. There's a chair, and I'm going to continue the thought. So Avram Zakein Ba Bayamim, Avram was elderly, coming in his days. So over here, it also means I'm live over here. Okay, somebody offered to take a picture of me. Okay, so anyway, so Avram Zakein Ba Bayamim, Avram was elderly. A second explanation is Avram Zakein Ba Bayamim, Avram was elderly, coming in his days, means that although he was elderly, sometimes when a person becomes older, they stop, they just pass through their days. It's just a matter of, the energy of life, has left. You're just passing through the days. They say a joke of Moshe and Chaim that would meet every single day at the doctor's office, because it was just almost like their routine. They would meet and they would kvetch about this and kvetch about that. As the other story goes, a story within a story about the fellow wakes up in the middle of the night and he tells his wife, "I think I'm dead." And his wife says to him, "Why so, Harry? I mean, you're very much alive." He says, "Because nothing hurts. Nothing hurts. I think I'm dead." So they say the story of Moshe and Chaim every day. This was like their routine. One day, Moshe comes to the office. He expects to spend his time with Chaim while they wait for the doctor, and Chaim doesn't show up. So afterwards, Moshe calls his friend Chaim and says, "What happened? Why don't you come to the doctor's office for our usual stuff to deal with?" And so Chaim responds to Moshe, he says, "Today I wasn't feeling well, I couldn't come." So that's some typical classic sort of Jewish jokes that highlight sometimes what can happen at old age. That you just in the morning you wait what's going to be during the day, and you try to just pass the time, and there's no excitement to life. There's no real productivity. There's no goal. There's no enjoyment. It's geschleptzach, as we say in Yiddish. So Avram Zokein, on the other hand, Avram was old, but Bo Bayomim, even as he was in his old age, he still entered into every single day fully. He lived it. He utilized it. He fulfilled his purpose and what he could do based on the experience of his old age. There are things that you could do only then based on life's experience and the impact and the role model and inspiration you could give to others, etc. There's many things that you could do at your old age, positive things. Avram Zaken, he was old, but Bo Bayom, he still came into his days. He fully entered and lived every single day. Or as the Zohar puts it, that every single day has its mitzvahs, its special mitzvahs that become the levushim, that become the garments, says the Zohar, Jewish mysticism, that with these garments, when you, after 120 pass away, those are the garments that allow you to receive the reward, which is the godly goodness and energy that the soul appreciates and receives in the world to come. Those are the mitzvahs that you do. So he says, Avram Zaken says, the Zohar Bayomim, every single day he came with the mitzvahs that needed to be fulfilled on that particular day, whatever was expected from him. So he was full with the levushim, to use the word, the language of the Zohar, full with the garments needed in order to receive what he was destined to receive in the world to come, but even more importantly, fulfilling the mission of his soul. So Avram Zaken, he was old, but Bo Bayomim, he fully came and entered in the days. And this has sort of broad implications, but first and foremost, in fulfilling our purpose in an energetic and in a positive way. And when you have that attitude to life, even at your older age, then that is the way to live a life of happiness and joy, even when there might be struggles, which of course we bless everybody not to have those struggles, meaning they should be healthy and well, healthy body, healthy soul. So that's the thought for today. My hands are literally freezing, so I'm gonna conclude over here. Thank you for the opportunity to share some words of Torah. Hopefully I'll just share a little bit from tonight's banquet, which is always very beautiful. Next week we'll get back to our regular learning. Have a fantastic week, a week full of blessing, and stay warm here in New York. And of course, Florida, we should be back, God willing, tomorrow. Have a great day. I do want to mention that we're giving out special Thanksgiving, packages. So if you know someone who's in need, please fill out the form so that we can make sure to give you what you need. We have both non-kosher turkeys for non-Jews, and the kosher turkeys for Jews. And of course, just sign up the form, and we will make sure that you have a nice meal for Thanksgiving. If you want to help sponsor that, you're also welcome to click. There's a separate link, and you're welcome to be a partner in this wonderful mitzvah. Have a great and fantastic week.